Namaste. Welcome to YENRI, Yoga Environment Neuroscience Research Institute. After a long time, we have been streaming live. And why not? Because today's occasion is World Mental Health Day 2021. And this year's theme is mental health care for all. And let us make it a reality. I would just present few facts to all of you through World Health Organization. World Health Organization has provided us with very important crisp data, and this data needs to be understood by all of us. Why? Because the theme itself is mental health care for all, not for selective, not for the people who are suffering from serious mental disorders. We all go through the problems of mental health issues. We have to understand this. Just like at our home, we have to clean our home because of dirt getting accumulated. In the same way, in our mind, there are many negative thoughts which get accumulated and they disturb us, not only because of our own behavior, but also because of others' behavior. So let us just go through the data which has been provided by World Health Organization. So let me share some slides with you. So as all of you know that I am Dr. Mayur. I have another YouTube channel, which is my primary channel through which I started putting my work. Initially, I was putting neurosurgery work over there. And then as I realized that a role of a doctor is not just to treat the disorders, but to prevent the disorders as well. And through that idea, I started putting yoga videos, and they have been very much liked by all of you. This organization also, this institute also, it has been placed and I have registered it as a trust just for all of you and to improve the consciousness of the human beings. World Mental Health Day 2021. Mental health care for all. These all slides are derived from World Health Organization. Let's make it a reality. Now, what happens actually in human behavior? We are all social animals, and because of that, what happens is we interact with each other, and many a times, instead of giving unconditional love to each other, we start having different kind of thought processes through which we isolate ourselves, or we try to put ourselves at a higher or a lower level, and through that the problems arise. Approximately close to 1 billion people have some or other kind of mental disorder, and anyone anywhere on the planet can be affected. Many of us have seen that very famous TV actors, high performing celebrities, and even Olympic gold medalists like Michael Phelps, they have suffered through the problems of mental health. This is very, very important. Depression is the leading cause of disability throughout the world and is a major contributor to overall global burden of disease. Globally, it is estimated that 5% of adults they suffer from depression. So if 100 people are watching this video, then 5 people out of that might be suffering from depression. Globally, 1 in 7 youngsters, that is in their early teens, experience mental disorder. Half of all such disorders start by the age of 14 years, but most are undetected and untreated. Mind you, recently we all are coming across the effect of drug abuse in youngsters. Specifically, it is happening through various celebrities or to the celebrities, and then it has been followed by the masses. Like, for example, Aryan Khan, son of a well-known Bollywood celebrity, Shah Rukh Khan. He has been arrested for enjoying drugs at a very young age. Why does this happen? Because of so-called busy parents, children feel less loved and less affectionate, and because of that, they seek external happiness, and through that, they enter into the arena of smoking, drinking, and drugs, and so on and so forth. People with severe mental disorders such as schizophrenia tend to die 10 to 20 years earlier than general population because of so many reasons. One in every 100 deaths is suicide. It is the fourth leading cause of death in people aged 15 to 29 years, means youngsters. Recently, one of my colleague, she tried to commit suicide. Luckily, she was saved. However, it shows the importance of mental health even in doctors. Even if we are super specialists, we may have some flaws, we may find some flaws in others, and because of that, we may get depressed. We may keep on thinking so much negative that we may lose the touch with the reality. And that is where, as a community, as a medical community, also, we have to come together, and we have to speak about this openly, and we have to understand the mental health issues in open manner and discuss them and address them as much as possible. Whenever and wherever needed, we should actively participate in talking to people and trying to find out if you find in some person's eyes some kind of depression, some kind of sadness, in somebody's body language, you find some kind of sadness, then please go and talk to them spontaneously. As in my previous videos and in my previous discussions, many a times I have mentioned you that I was able to save few people just because of understanding their body language and talking to them, and then later on coming to know that they were deciding for the worst in their life. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a considerable impact on people's mental health, that we all know, and since last almost 2 years, we all are struggling through it. However, with the help of yoga, with the help of open discussions, we have been able to keep our community healthy physically, mentally, and socially through internet. Spiritually also, we have tried to discuss lots of things in the form of Bhagavad Gita, in the form of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and so on and so forth. Now, what we have to understand here is that there is a gap between the demand of mental health services and supply. Why? Because of so many reasons. The mental health issues are not so obvious. Just like if somebody has a tumor, no, tumor will be seen. Tumor will be seen in the scan, and we will be able to address it. But if somebody has depression, somebody has suicidal thoughts, somebody has schizophrenia, we may not be able to find substantial things in the investigations. These are all behavioral related issues and psychiatric issues. Also, the impact of physical illness, for example, any fracture is seen very fast, pain is seen, pain is physical, but mental issues also cause a lot of agony and pain. However, we do not understand them so easily because they are not so eye-catching, if I want to use the word. However, if you learn body language, if you learn to understand others' emotions, and through that you will be able to see that what other person is feeling. Recently, in our Brahma Muhurta Yoga, we discussed about dark psychology traits. We discussed about the manipulation which happens unconsciously, subconsciously, or consciously amongst people, and through which we all suffer. We all conduct those things also many a number of times. So that gap that exists because it is not so obvious, not so eye-catching. Relatively few people around the world have access to quality mental health services. One more important word is quality. The serious gaps that still exist in mental health care are the result of chronic underinvestment over many decades in mental health promotion, prevention, and care. This is very, very important. This statement, please go through it. Stigma. I have seen this stigma even in our medical community as well. Please do understand this. Please do understand this. In our medical community also, if the stigma is there, then you forget about the general population. Discrimination, human right abuses of people with the mental health conditions remain widespread. Even the institutes which are known to be specialists in mental health services have been lacking some discipline regarding these issues. So this very, very important aspect, please remember this. Now, what is the impact? What is the impact of we taking care of mental health of people? If mental health for all is arriving, then what will happen? If it is not arriving, then what will happen? If it arrives, we will see what will happen in the next slide. If it does not, then there is economic crisis of almost US $1 trillion each year. That much is the loss because of mental health disorders. 2% of national health budget only is given to the mental health. However, it should be more. And only 1% of developmental assistance is given to the mental health. So it's very, very, very less as compared to what it should be. Okay. Now, how we can help people by talking therapists. I told you talking is very, very important. My personal experience, many a number of times in my previous video, I have shared that talking is very, very important. Sometimes talking does not help, then medications, and obviously combination of all the things is very, very important. Suppose if we invest $1 for treating and for upscaling the treatment of depression and anxiety, we will be saving or will be having a return of $5. If $1 is invested in evidence-based treatment for drug dependence, then we will have savings or we will have return up to $7 in reduced crime and criminal justice costs. Health workers, general health workers can also be trained to diagnose and treat mental health conditions. This last year also we had discussed in World Mental Health Day 2020, where we all were discussing about improving the mental health care, improving the mental health care delivery. And that is where this time we have kept 2021, what we have kept, mental health for all. And let's make it a reality. For making it a reality, only today I have come here in front of all of you to speak on this so that we all understand our place in terms of mental health care for all. It's a stigma, there is a discrimination, there is a human rights issue, all these things are there. But whenever you find a place in a very gentle manner, you should address this issue. You should try to improve. If you are working in a company, you should try to improve the collective mental health of your company through various lectures, through various discussions, through various workshops, through various questionnaires, through various plays, dramas. So many things are available, and through that you can definitely do it. There are many ways through which we can do, and over a period of time we will discuss about that also. Now, regular health checkups with people with severe mental disorders can prevent premature death. Regular health, we discussed about schizophrenia, that's about that we are talking. And then quality of life of people living with conditions like autism and dementia can be greatly improved with their caregivers receive appropriate training. This is what is very, very important. What happens is training is very, very minimal, and people don't want to get trained also. They feel that it's a burden, unfortunately. Recently, I came across a patient who had hypoxia at a very young age because of fits, and after that, his mental development has been delayed, and because of which now he has grown up to 20 years of age, and he is not able to rehabilitate himself into the society. His body has grown, but mind has not. So what happens is the family members, they are not able to understand. They have not been counseled properly. They have not been trained properly. And because of that, they beat him. And because of the beating, he has become physically strong. So he beats them back. This can be properly addressed through training of the family members. Unfortunately, we as doctors also many a times are busy just prescribing medications rather than talking to our patients. That needs to be addressed. The rights of people living with mental health conditions can be protected and promoted through mental health legislation, policy, development of affordable, quality, community-based mental health services, and involvement of people who have lived with those kind of mental health disorders. So community-based mental health services. So wherever you are, if you are a school teacher, please do learn about mental health. Please try to understand your students with respect to the psychology, not just try to dominate them with your beatings or scoldings. If you are in some different setup, please try to understand the psychology of that place. And if you do not, then please seek the advice from experts. Please learn more and more material about mental health. It will help not only you, but also the fellow human beings. Now here we come. WHO has given this beautiful template for us to understand depression. What is depression? And if you think you have depression, then you should read about this. And this we should remember that with the right support, you can get better. So if you think you might be depressed, seek help. If you feel that you have a mental health issue, please seek help from a right person, from the person you trust, from a doctor, from a professional, and you will find the difference. And keep talking. Don't stop talking. If you talk, then only people will understand you. Okay? Depression can happen to anyone, and it's not a sign of weakness. Please do not think that if you use this word, hey, I am feeling depressed, yeah, people may think, he's a weak-minded person. No. If people are thinking like that, it means that their mental health education is poor. And it's not a sign of weakness if you are depressed. It's the illness characterized by persistent sadness and loss of interest in activities that you normally enjoy, accompanied by difficulty in carrying out daily activities. People with depression also normally experience several of the following, like loss of energy, change in appetite, sleeping more or less, anxiety, reduced concentration, indecisiveness, restlessness, feeling of worthlessness, guilt or hopelessness, thoughts of self-harm or suicide. But don't worry, depression can be treated, and with talking therapies, medications, or both. What you can do: talk to someone you trust, as I said you, about your feelings. Most people find that talking to someone who cares about them helps. I have a friend who is a doctor, and we both share a lot of things with each other. And obviously, because he is going through a lot, we both have a very good chemistry. Even if I am not a complete psychiatrist, but because I am a husband of a child psychiatrist, it helps me a lot to talk to people and understand their psychiatric issues or their mental health issues. And through that, I have been able to help my friend, and he has been on a great journey. Seek professional help. Your local healthcare worker or doctor is a good place to start. Try to keep doing at least some of the activities that you usually enjoy. Stay connected with friends and family. Exercise regularly, even if it's just a short walk. Stick to regular eating and sleeping habits as much as possible. Avoid or restrict alcohol intake. Don't use illicit drugs. They can make depression worse. Alcohol, smoking, drugs. These three things will make depression worse. Please remember this. Okay. If you feel suicidal, please contact someone. Please. If you are seeing this video and if you have suicidal tendencies, you can contact me anytime. Okay. We are all here for you. Even if you don't want to contact me, you can contact a person whom you trust. Please go and seek a company, good company, not a bad company. Please. Now, this is slightly going into do you feel that like life is not worth living? This is about suicide. Pain that seems overwhelming and unbearable, feeling of worthlessness, hopelessness, loneliness, constant negative thoughts, difficulty imagining any way to deal with your problems other than suicide, the feeling that everyone would be better off without you, difficulty understanding why you are thinking or feeling this way. You are not alone. Many people have gone through what you are experiencing and found help. Finding help is extremely important. Please do understand this. It's okay to talk about suicide. Talking can help alleviate some of the feelings you are experiencing. Experiencing thoughts of suicide, self-harm is a sign of severe emotional distress. Thinking about suicide is not a weakness and nothing to feel guilty about. You can get better. Help is available. What you can do is talk to someone you trust about how you feel. Talk to a health worker, such as a doctor or a mental health professional, like a psychiatrist or a counselor or a social worker. Join a support group. That is where we have developed this YENRI group also. We have almost 250 plus people in that group, and we all enjoy each other's company. Though we will have some or other kind of, difference in the thought process many a number of times, but we solve those things with the help of positive psychological framework. Okay. If you think you are in immediate danger of harming yourself, contact the emergency services or a crisis line. Okay. Now, if you find somebody that someone who may be considering suicide, then what to do? Then what you should know is we have to talk. This is very, very important. I am emphasizing this word talking. Talking is very, very important. Asking someone if they are thinking about suicide does not make them act on their feelings. In fact, it often reduces the anxiety and helps people feel understood. Okay. Severe mood changes. About this, I had shared one example of my experience at Pondicherry in one of the videos, and because of my involuntary behavior of talking, one person, could not commit a suicide, did not commit suicide, and later on blessed me with the idea of giving the exam of Nimhans once again. So it was totally a divine and a spiritual experience when he revealed that because of me talking to him continuously, he forgot about committing suicide. So that's the point. That is the point. That your positivity, a constructive positivity, selfless positivity will help others to find purpose and meaning in life. Okay. And that in turn may bless you in different manners. That video is available actually. If you go to December 2020, where 2 or 3 days I was there in Pondicherry, in those videos I have discussed about this event. Severe mood changes, social withdrawal, expressing thoughts, feelings, or plans about ending their life, saying things like no one will miss me when I am gone, or I have got no reason to live, looking for the ways to kill themselves, saying goodbye to close family members and friends, giving away valued possessions. People who have tried to take their own life before, who are at the risk. Okay. People in acute emotional distress or with depression, someone who is socially isolated, someone with alcohol or drug problems, people living with chronic pain or illness, people who have experienced violence, abuse, or trauma. Now, Violence, abuse, or trauma is not necessarily always physical. Many a times, mental trauma also can lead to suicide, which many a number of times your superiors or your teachers or your professors will never understand. They will just put you in a wrong place, put you down, and they may just think very less of you because they themselves don't have value of life. They don't have that idea of mental health. They don't think that another human being is also a human being. Okay, so whenever somebody does this mental trauma to you, don't feel bad. Feel bad. If you want to feel bad for them, not for yourself. Okay, so that's very, very important. And understand that whatever other person is doing, it's because of their mental illness, their mental health issues, not because of yours. And if you feel intimidated by your mental health trauma or your mental trauma or torture, whatever you've gone through, please speak up. Please speak up at a right place. Please speak up to the doctors. Please speak up to the counselors. Please speak up to your friends. And do not touch cigarette. Do not touch alcohol. Do not touch drugs. If you try to do this after mental trauma, you will fall in big trouble. So instead of that, try to find a constructive solution to the problem. Okay. People from groups of the society that are marginalized or discriminated against. Find an appropriate time and quiet place to talk with the person you are worried about. Let them know you are there to listen. Encourage them to seek help from a health worker, such as a doctor or a mental health professional or a counselor or a social worker, and offer to accompany them at an appointment. Even if you are not their brother, sister, spouse, it's fine. It's fine. We are all human beings. Many a times we have relationships beyond the names. And those relationships are the pure and divine relationships, spiritual relationships which we have with each other. It's fine to help others without any expectations. If you think someone is in immediate danger, don't leave them alone. This is very, very important. Okay. Contact the emergency services, a crisis line, a health worker, or a family member. The example of Pondicherry, which I was giving now, involuntarily, I did not leave that person. And I just took him to my room. And that is how everything changed. If the person you are worried about lives with you, make sure that they don't have access to means of self-harm at home. Check in regularly to see how they are doing. It's very, very important. Just don't leave superficially. Okay? Just don't do that. If you really want to help, help completely. If you don't want to help, then don't help. Okay? But helping always is good. Okay? So that is how we will be able to create a better society. If you like this conversation, if you like this lecture, if you like this presentation, then please let us know in the comment section. We will bring more and more videos like this. If you want to know about more mental health issues, more aspects in mental health, then please mention what do you want to know. Do you want to know about more about depression? Do you want to know more about schizophrenia or suicidal tendencies, or for that matter, any disorder? Recently, we have discussed a lot about dark psychology. Please go and see that on my another channel called as Mayur Kaku. So thank you very much for seeing this video, for understanding the mental health problem, mental health issues all across the planet through the World Health Organization. I thank all the people who strive to understand themselves and to understand others in a proper light. That is what is most important in this world. Thank you very much. Let us strive our best to bring mental health to all the people on this planet. Let us be physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually healthy. Namaste. Have a nice day. Dhanyavad.